Hello and welcome to a demonstration of part 2 of a new therapy for health and energy. My name is Richard Clark, and if you're watching this video and you are using the therapy, please look at part 1 and work through that before you start part 2, because it will be needed. Some parts of part 2 can be used independently of part 1, such as repairing injury and accident damage to the body, but I suggest using part 1 first, if at all possible, if you've got the time. Thank you. Now, before I go any further, I'd like to say that thank you for downloading this free ebook, which these videos are part of, but please note, I'm not a doctor or physician or medically trained in any way. I'm not a therapist or trained in any therapies, complementary or alternative. Nothing here on this video or in the ebook is meant to be a replacement for proper medical diagnosis and care by your doctor, physician or healthcare professional. If you are on any medication, please stay on it and follow professional medical advice regarding your health. If you have any concerns about your health, please see your doctor or physician. And if you are unhappy about using the therapy after looking at it in the ebook, then please don't. The therapy may be used as well as any medication you're on, but please do not use it in place of it. If you start using the therapy and you feel unhappy about it for any reason, please stop. Some of the materials used can be toxic, not so much in part 2, but even so, it's always wise to be careful. The materials are always placed in plastic bags, so the only thing you should have in contact with your skin ever is the plastic bags which are used, which are these clear, fairly small plastic bags. Okay, they must be clear. That's the only thing that you will ever have in contact with your skin, and you could try, if you want, some sort of allergy test to see if your skin reacts to the plastic. If you're doing anything other than that, you're not following instructions correctly. Okay, no material must be consumed or is ever consumed. The therapy does not rely on people taking anything orally. Do not consume anything with the therapy. After you've used the therapy, please wash your hands, or during, use some gloves. This again is another precaution, and hygiene, good hygiene is always good practice. You may think it's a good idea to work in a well ventilated room. This is just to let any energy fumes that are released by the body during the therapy to be released out into the air and not absorbed by anybody who's sitting in the room or even yourself. This isn't very important for part 2, but it is essential for part 1. Okay, part 2 releases life-supporting energy from materials into the body. And it's done working a section of the body at a time. So you will use your lower back, the inside of your forearms, the back of the neck, the throat and the abdomen, above and below the belly button. So it's fairly simple. Unlike part 1, where all the materials were placed on in 2 goes, in 2 hits, 2 cycles, part 2, you would place the materials on one area at a time. Okay, the materials used are batteries, oils of some sort, vitamins and minerals, earth, rice and plastic bags. Now, these materials have absorbed the energy of the sun, and they started off as living things. The batteries obviously it's debatable whether they are life supporting or living things, but they are life supporting. So, and they're very important. You would always use the batteries with the therapy. You would use the batteries just about every time you use the therapy, no matter if you're doing part 1 or part 2. So the part 2 is about putting in a lot of life supporting energy into the body. So the body can use this energy for repair, recovery, health, raising the general level of health, using the energy to bring about beneficial change. There's so much can be done. It is amazing, but it's all down to the body and the immune system. All the therapy does is give the body the energy materials it needs to get the job done, to get recovery going as far as possible. Okay, now that if you've gone through part 1, and I hope you have, you'll recognise the batteries. The batteries used are, and this is all in the book, I use rechargeables, as I've said. They're a lot easier. It's a lot easier to just recharge them and know that they're full of the energy. These are 2450 mAh type AA, and they're rated at 1.2 volts. HR6. Okay, you will need 8 of these for a medium-sized person. Now, as I've stressed quite often, one of the important things of the therapy is to keep down the cost. And to do that, I've tried to limit the materials as much as I can. 8 batteries for a medium-sized person is probably enough. For someone my size or bigger, or if you're a big person or you judge yourself to be big, bigger, whatever, doesn't matter. Use some more batteries if you can afford it. So if you could go up to 12 or even 16, and you use them in bags, in 2 bags, so you divide your supply up. So for now anyway, I would say you need 8 batteries, which you would have from part 1. You will need 2 putty filters, again from part 1, and the putty filters come from simple glazing putty, linseed oil putty, multi-purpose, and this is a mixture of linseed oil and chalk, and it is more, it's better than artificial type, synthetic type putties you can get that are made from I don't know what oil. There'll be plastic type substances. But the linseed oil putty is important because this mimics the way the bones work as filters. Right, so you've got your putty filters, you've got your batteries. Now then, next, the oils. I just use oils as capsules, Omega 3, 6 and 9s, which are quite good. And using them as in capsules saves a lot of messing around. You can also use different oils. There's another one I've tried, flaxseed oil, which is a liquid, and that's, you have to pour some into a bag. And because these are dry substances, the oils and the vitamins, which are these, good quality multivitamins and minerals. Get something with as much as you can in it, because this works through your whole body. So the more vitamins and minerals that you use, the more vitamin and minerals in your body are going to be helped. So I tend to use the 2 together. So you'll need 2 bags, and I don't know if you can see, but the reddish capsules are the vitamins and minerals, and the yellowish capsules are the oils. And you want a bag about this size, about a fist. Amounts are not critical, just pour in what you feel is right. These sizes, they're 60 capsules, which should be enough, and these are 30, which again should be enough. Right, I'm going to run through the basic method using the basic materials, and then afterwards I'll elaborate a bit more about what else you could do. The other 2 things are soil from the garden, as the book says, get some soil that's quite rich and is soil, not clay. So that's topsoil. If you can put in a few roots, that's even better, because again you've got life supporting energy. Add some water so that it's damp but not muddy. This is to activate the soil, the earth, and you need 2 bags of these. Again, about a fistful size or a hen's egg size. The other thing we use is rice. This is brown long grain rice, again about the size of your fist, and this will need a few drops of water, not like the earth, just a few drops just to activate it. And when you tie the bag, leave some air in there, because the rice works better with air. So the rice helps the body to regulate the water content of your body. The earth, as the book says, it does many things. It supplies its life supporting energy, but it will also help ground random electrical energy that we absorb all the time from appliances, cooking, anything to do with electricity, microwaves, televisions, monitors. We will absorb the energy. Okay, great. So, as I say, they're the materials, and the best place to use them is the lower back. The lower back, I would use the lower back just about all the time. It is good to use it in other areas, because other areas do need it, but it seems that the lower back is the place where the body will just draw the energy straight in and disperse it throughout the body. So you get your filters and you place them, I don't know whether to try and show them here, but you place them on your lower back, which is just below let's try and do this right. About there, where the curve of the back is. So the putty filters go on first. Okay, if you can see. Yeah. And the putty is in a plastic bag. So the rule is you will never be putting anything on your skin that isn't in plastic bag. So you've got these on the curve of your back. On top of these you would place a bag with 4 batteries. So you get 4 batteries into your bag, into a bag. You've got your earth, they can go in. You've got your vitamins and minerals, a bag of. And you've got your rice, so they go in. So you've got a nice bag of materials, you've got your putty filter, and you place the materials on top of the putty filter on your back. Now I've found the most comfortable way of doing this is to lie back on a reclining chair or a bed. So you just lay there with them on your back. Now I use this a lot, although I'm going to say do a cycle of 3. So you'd use this on all the different areas of your body 3 times. I've used it a lot more on different people and myself. I never use anything on others until I first used it extensively on myself. That's to find out exactly what it does, whether it's of benefit, and I think it's more ethical to do it that way, so that I know exactly what's going on. But yeah, you can do it in a chair like this, a sit-up chair, and rest back. Now these are going to stay on for about 2 hours. So you've got 2 putty filters and you've got 2 bags of materials, and this would be your working materials for part 2. So you place them on your lower back and leave them on for about 2 hours. Okay. If you're using sorry, I got distracted. If you're using rechargeable batteries, make sure they're fully charged. If you're using single-use batteries, then I'm not too sure how long they would last. The body does tend to suck the energy out of things like you wouldn't believe, especially when it needs it. Right, so on the lower back, then the next day or a few days later you can do the forearms. Okay, and that's very similar to part one. Place the putty filters on the arm of a chair. Place the materials under the putty filters, then place them on the arm of a chair, and then rest the forearm, both forearms, one on each set of materials. And it's about halfway between wrist and elbow on the inside surface. Okay, that's fairly straightforward. It doesn't have to be exact. Try not to sit it on the wrist or on the elbow, but about the midpoint. This is to get the energy working into the bone marrow, which again is very important. Okay, again, take the materials off, then you move to the throat. Place, this is after a day or two when you're comfortable doing it. Place the putty filter on your throat and a bag of materials on top, and a putty filter on your neck with a bag of materials on top. Again, resting back onto a bed or reclining chair and having the materials just resting there seems to be the best way to work this. As with the others, the back and the arms, leave them on for up to 2 hours. This takes a bit longer than part one, in the sense that start to see benefit. Part one, you'll see benefit, or you'll feel benefit in a few days. Whereas with part two, the body has to absorb the energies, the life supporting energies, and to make them work with the body's processes to raise the level of different energies, and then these energies combine and work in different ways to start to help recovery and health and other things. So you're looking at a month or two. Right? You'll feel better the next day. Your energy level will just shoot up. But that's just, it's like eating a meal. You eat food and very quickly you feel better. That's absorbing the energy. But then the energy of the food has to be used by the body for processes. So you feel the full benefit as time goes on. This is the same. Okay, so you do the neck and the throat. Now the last one is above and below the solar plexus. Okay, so you get your two putty filters and place, if you can see, one above the stomach, one above the belly button, sorry, on the abdomen, and one below the belly button, like that, under the shirt, so it's resting on the skin. And then you place your materials, 2 bags, one on each putty filter. Now, what I use in addition to that is serotonin. Now that was suggested by a friend, and serotonin, most of the serotonin in the body is in the stomach, and this is very important for recovery of health. So I would suggest getting some serotonin, although it can be quite expensive, relatively expensive. These are capsules, and you could just get your supply, whatever you've got of serotonin, divide it up into 2 bags and place the bags in with the other materials on the solar plexus. Leave it on for 2 hours and then repeat the whole thing again, starting with the lower back, the forearms, the neck, the throat and the abdomen. So you do, that's twice, and then you do again a few days in between, so you do 3 times in total. Now this is the basic method of part 2. Part 2 obviously can be added to by adding more different materials, different ingredients, and you can use the lower back more. I'm finding the one I like most is the lower back, or at least this is the most useful. The lower back area really does draw in the energy. I've used this, I don't know, it could be more, 9, 10 times to get plenty of energy in. Now, if you've got a break or an injury or some area that needs repair, whatever it is, you can use the same method. Say for instance, you've got a broken wrist, you can place the putty filters on with the bag of materials on top. This will help, it helps with pain. The battery energy helps a great deal with pain, which is quite good. And the materials will speed up the healing. Now, when you use the vitamins and minerals in tablet form, they're enough, they're only small measures, but they're enough to do an awful lot to the body. But when there is a lot of damage, or there's a need for a great deal of energy, that's when I start applying a lot more of individual materials. So you'd be looking at calcium for bones. So I would pour a lot of capsules. I'm trying to find my calcium ones, but I don't look like I put them out. But I've got them here. There's a bag full of calcium that I've been using, and I would just place this on the putty filter. Now you'll run out of room, so there's no problem with using, you do it in shifts. You can put some materials on, leave them on for a while, take them off, put on some others. But calcium, this is calcium, zinc and magnesium, and it's very good for breaks and repair. You can also use collagen. There's collagen. You can use a big bag of that. Collagen, silicone is a good one. It's all in the book, but you can add the materials, whatever materials you feel are going to be beneficial, you can add to the bags. Okay, so that's injury and accident. And as I've said here, extra materials may be used in the bag, such as calcium, glucosamine, silicone, collagen, iron, copper, zinc, magnesium, and so on. This is when the body is short of energy, short of the energy it needs, and this is probably why that part of the body got injured anyway. When the body sheds energy, it becomes weak and prone to injury. So putting the energy in helps, not just helps repair, but it helps to stabilise that part of the body. Okay, yeah, also use metals, and the metals are quite good. There's a small bag of metals that I use. There's silver, there's copper, there's lead, iron, zinc, and these you can use as well. They all have individual properties. Remember, this is all about the energies of materials, and this would be used on the lower back. I like copper because it's particularly good for nervous conditions and problems with electrical energy. Keep them away from the batteries. Use them in a bag and keep them away from the batteries, so that the batteries are in their bag, these are in a bag, because if the metal makes contact with the batteries, there could be, it could cause injury. Okay, just to go through some of the other things I use now. Amino acids, I've used these. This is really, really good stuff. Again, put it in a bag and on the lower back. I think this bag is one that I've been using. There's vitamins, minerals and amino acids, and it goes on the lower back, and the amino acids are really good. You can try different kinds of oil because each oil has its own unique ability. I've used olive oil, walnut oil, argan oil, the flaxseed oil. Flaxseed oil, omega oils, olive oil, sunflower oil, these tend to be general purpose power oils. And then you can look at other oils in a more specific way, like walnut oil tends to be very useful for the brain. Horsetail I've used, which is a herb, and that contained, I think I did that one for iron. No, horsetail is silicon, that's right. The one for iron was sea kelp, yeah, I think that's right, sea kelp, and I've also tried creatine, which is available from health food shops. Now, as I've said before, and I'd like to stress it, I'm not pushing any kind of product or brand. Whatever you can find that's good, reasonable quality at a reasonable price and you feel inclined to use it, please do. As I say, the areas to use the materials I've explained, but it always, once that you've done the whole body, 3 cycles, then it's good to return to the lower back, and you'll be surprised how much more energy gets absorbed. Another one I've been using is charcoal capsules. Now these are very good cleaners of energy. They also draw out a lot of bad stuff. So charcoal capsules, especially on the throat, are well worth considering. Okay. So I've explained the basic method to part 2, and then you can add to it and adapt it to whatever condition you've got. Please be careful not to put any materials on broken skin. You can use them either side of the broken skin, but I don't think it's good hygiene to put them on broken skin. Also be very careful about circulation. You don't cut off your circulation. Make yourself comfortable when you're using part 2, because you'll probably be there for up to a couple of hours. And again, as I said in the last video, on part 1, when the material's on, you'll feel them working, or some people will. You'll feel a kind of, it's almost like it's joined or locked with the part of the body that the materials are on. And then as the process comes to an end, as the energy is drawn out of the materials and the body starts to release the materials, you'll feel it slacken off slightly. It's quite surprising. Okay, thank you for watching this if you've got to this end point. My name is Richard Clark. I do thank you for watching my videos, downloading my book, and hopefully trying out the therapy. I can be reached on excalibur2015@gmail.com if you'd like to comment or give feedback. You can post comments under the videos, or if you download the book from Smashwords, I don't know about anywhere else, but if you download the book from Smashwords, you can post comments under the download page, on the download page. Right, hopefully everything's been said that needs to be said. I shall continue working and adding to the therapy and posting updates, so please look back from time to time to get the latest version. Thank you so much for watching this, and good luck. Thank you.